Hey everyone, this is Sandeep back with another video. And today's video, I'm going to continue our Java Bootcamp series. And today's topic is Booleans, one of the pretty easy topic to cover. So let's directly jump into it. So let's talk about Boolean. So Boolean is a data type like other data types we have covered in the previous videos of our Java Bootcamp. The link of the playlist is in the description. If you haven't watched that video, those videos basically, please go and watch. So it's similar to like other data types like integer, long, string, char, then double we talked about, right? So it's a data type, but this is kind of a special data type where we can store only two values, that is true or false. So you can either store a true value or you can store a false value. So I'm going to give you the practical example. So I'm going to create a folder here. So let's create a new folder with the name of Booleans. And I will go back to my Visual Studio Code. Open this folder basically inside my folder structure. So I'll open this Booleans. And I'm going to create a new class. So I'm going to create a booleans.java. It haven't generated a class. Okay. So I'll say public class booleans. And I'm going to have a main method inside that. Now inside this main method, I'm going to create two different Boolean variables. So to create a Boolean variable, you need to type Boolean. This is a data type name. And then I'll create a variable name is true, and I'm going to assign it a value of true. Similarly, I'm going to create a second Boolean variable, and the variable name is false, and the value is false. I'm just putting this is, just to have some different name here. And now we are going to have a s out for is true, and similarly I'm going to s out is false. So a Boolean is a data type which can have two different values, true or false, right? And I'm just doing the println. So let's open the terminal, and I'm going to say Java C booleans.java. So it has compiled my program. Now let's run it, and you should see the output, right? True and false. So you cannot store a number, you cannot store a string, or you cannot store a decimal value inside a Boolean variable. It is a special type which is used for storing the true and false value. Now we generally don't directly store the true or a false value in a Boolean variable. We use Boolean for, storing some kind of expression and the result of the expression. Like I'll give the example, right? So say suppose I have an int variable called age, and the age is 18, right? So I can do something like this. If age is greater than 18, so this is a comparison I'm doing, right? So I'm doing the comparison of age, that is 18, or maybe I'll put a different age, just not to confuse you. So I can have an age as 13 probably, right? So I can compare 13. If 13 is greater than 18, so this is a condition, right? And I'm going to talk about the conditional operators, comparison operators. So 13 is not at all greater than 18. So this is going to return us a false. So this is how, that's why I'm talking about Booleans. So some of the expressions, some of the comparison or some of the comparative comparison expressions that we are going to write, they're going to return either a true value or a false value. And based on that, we can control the flow of our program, flow of our computer program, basically in Java. Okay. So this should be a good example, I would say. So Boolean, true and false. And now I'll go back to my notes and let's talk about the comparison. So obviously you need to do the comparison, and to do the comparison, we need comparison operators. So there are several of comparison operators are there, like greater than, then less than, then greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, equals, and not equals are only used for strings. So let's start. I'm going to create some variables. First of all, I'm going to create a class to understand comparison. So I'm going to say, I'll create a Boolean comparisons.java. And yeah, we got the class finally here. So main, and inside this, I'm going to create different variables. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to create a variable called Sachin ODI runs. So I'm taking the example of cricket, right? So Sachin has scored how many ODI runs? So maybe I'll take 18,426. So I pick up this from the internet. Then next, Ricky. If you have heard of Ricky Ponting's name, Ricky ODI runs, and they're around 13,704. Next, I'm going to create some double variables also. So let's try double, and this time it will be Sachin strike rate. So strike rate can be a double value. So I'm going to put some value like 86.2 and another double value where I'm going to have a Ricky strike rate. So Ricky Ponting strike rate. It is around 80.4. Okay, I'm going to create some more integer variable. Maybe I'm going to take the example of bowlers also. So well, let's have a Bolt. If you have heard of Bolt, right? Bolt ODI wickets, and Bolt has taken around 170 wickets. I'm just taking a number. Then Bumrah, if you have heard of Bumrah ODI wickets, and let's have like 110 maybe. And I think that's it. I'm going to put more variables if needed. So, okay, let's start doing the comparison. So let's first understand the greater than. So I can compare, right? Something I can compare Sachin ODI runs with the Ricky ODI runs. So to do that, I'm going to just do the S out and I'm going to compare. Okay, tell me whether Sachin ODI runs is greater than Ricky ODI runs. And if it returns true, right, then we are going to say it is true. But I'm going to put it into double brackets. Why? Because I'm going to use some string concatenation here. And I'm going to copy this expression so that I should differentiate. Okay, and I'm going to put this down. Cool. So we are doing the comparison. So 18,000 is greater than 13,000. Yes, it's greater than 13,000, right? So obviously we are going to get back the truthy value here. So I'm going to clear. Let's compile first. Boolean comparison.java, Java Boolean comparison. See that? Sachin ODI runs are greater than Ricky ODI runs. We can do this similar thing, greater than comparison for decimals also. So maybe we can check if Sachin's strike rate is greater than Ricky strike rate. I'm just doing some copy paste, just to save time. So we are doing another greater than comparison here for the decimals. And I'm not going to use probably a wickets example for now. So Java C, Java, and you see that, right? True. Because Sachin's strike rate is 86.2, which is obviously greater than Ricky's strike rate, which is 80.4. Okay, let's move on to the next operator. So you can do the comparison between the integers, between the doubles also, right? So that's why, I've kept that example. Maybe let's take the less than example now. So I'm going to just copy this sys out from here. And let's compare this time, whether Bolt has taken or Bumrah has taken more wickets than Bolt. Okay. So I'm going to do less than comparison. If Bumrah ODI wickets is less than Bolt ODI wickets. So yes, I can do that. So, and here I'm going to paste this one and I'm going to use the less than sign. Now let's do the compilation first, then run. If you see Bumrah's ODI wicket is less than Bolt ODI wickets, and that's true because yes, 110 is less than 170. That's true. Let's move on. And let's talk about greater than equal to or less than equals to. So maybe for that, I'm going to put one more variable here. Say Virat ODI runs. And say suppose Virat has scored the similar score like Ricky Ponting, something like that. So now I can copy this and paste it here, and I can do the comparison. So I'm going to check whether Ricky ODI runs is greater than or equals to Virat ODI runs. And actually they are equal, right? They are equal. So let's try that. And this is going to return us true because both are equal. Both are not greater than, but they are equal. So it's a or comparison, right? Either one condition has to be true, either it should be a greater or it should be an equal if we do the comparison between them. So let's compile and then run. You see that Ricky ODI runs greater than equals to, yeah, we're getting true. Similarly, we can do the comparison of less than equals to also, right? So I'm going to add one more variable here. Say Bhuvi. Bhuvi is another cricketer, right? Bowler, basically, ODI wickets. And maybe Bhuvi has taken the similar wickets like how Bolt has taken, maybe. Just taking the example here, right? So now we can do the comparison here, less than. So instead of greater than equals to, now I'm going to do the comparison of less than equals to. So I can do the comparison between Bhuvi. So I can say if Bhuvi has taken less or equals to than Bolt, right? So I'm just going to replace the Bhuvi's ODI wickets here. And obviously 170 is not less than 170, but it's equal to 170, right? So if I do the comparison again, it should return true because it's same, right? True. Cool. So now let's move on and let's talk about the next one, that is equal, equal, and not equal, right? So for equal, equal, and not equal, I'm going to say let's let's return some falsy values also, right? So maybe we'll use this example here now. Okay. So I'm going to check whether Sachin's strike rate is equals to Ricky's strike rate, and obviously it's not equal. So it's going to return me a falsy value. So let's try that. And if you see here, the Sachin strike rate equals to Ricky, that is false because it's not same, right? These numbers are not same. Similarly, we can do the not equals to, right? So maybe which example I can take? Maybe I'll try to take this example where Sachin ODI runs not equals to Ricky ODI runs, and that's true, right? Sachin ODI runs are not equals to Ricky ODI runs. They are different. So it's going to return me a true the value, right? So again, I'm going to compile and run. And if you check here, Sachin ODI run not equals to Ricky ODI run, then that is true. Let's talk about the last two. This is not operators, this is a function basically, but we are just learning the comparison. That's why I wanted to cover the equals and not equals method. So equals with and not equals is not a method, it's just a exclamation mark. So we use equals and not equals function, for strings, for string comparison. So for that purpose, I'm going to create two different string variables here. So first one will be string cricketer 1, and I'm going to use Sachin Tendulkar name here. I'm going to copy and paste this one. And cricketer 2 will be again Sachin Tendulkar, just to keep things simple. I'm going to create another string variable that will be Sachin played, means how many matches Sachin has played. So I'm going to put 200. Now you see here, right? 200 I have put as a string. And I'll create another string variable where I'm going to use Ricky played. So how many matches Ricky played? And here I'm going to put this value. So now this is kind of a trick thing, right? 200 and 200, but they're different. Okay, now I'm going to use S out here. Why the s out is not coming? Okay, s out. And here I'm going to use cricketer1 dot equals. So I'm checking whether cricketer1 is equals to cricketer2. So string1 is equals to string2, and this is going to return me. So I'm not going to use string for now. So this is going to return me true because yes, cricketer1 Sachin Tendulkar is equals to Sachin Tendulkar. Let's do the compilation first, and then so you see here, right? I'm getting true. Let's do another sys out here for Sachin played dot equal. There is nothing like not equal. Okay, this is not a method. We have something called equal only. We have to use equals only, and I'm comparing with Ricky played, and then I'm just going to do the negation of this. So Sachin ODI runs 200 is obviously not equal to 200, so it is going to return false, and that false is going to become true. So maybe I'll go with a simple one. Let's keep it both 200 200, right? So negation, or I'll just undo it. I mean, just for the simple example, 200 is not equals to 200, so this is going to return me Sachin ODI runs equals Ricky played. So this is not equal, right? So it's going to return me false, and that false is going to become true because of this exclamation mark. So Java C. Okay. Sachin ODI runs. Okay, I need to compare Sachin played with Ricky played. Thanks Java for showing me those errors. And now I'm going to say Java. See that I'm getting true here. And if I make it 200, I'm going to get false also. But I want to show you there's nothing like not equals. So not equals, I mean, this not is basically the reverse of or exact opposite of this equals, something like that. Okay, so I think we have learned Booleans, right, to store true and false values. We learned of creating different expressions, right, Boolean expressions basically, where we are doing the comparison, and we have used different comparison operators like most popular comparison operator, greater than, less than, greater than, equals to, less than or equals to, double equals to, not equals to, equals, and equals, not equals. And we did a comparison, right, and that comparison returns as a Boolean value. And we are going to use all of these conditions, whatever we have formed here, all of these conditions we are going to use in a program to do the comparison. And by that comparison and by the result of that comparison, we are going to run different parts of the program. So that's how we manage the conditions in Java. And that will be coming next in the next video. Until then, I think practice this Boolean comparison, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Until then, you take care and goodbye.